Adaptability and faith are the two most important skills that we need to acquire for the very near future. Now, yes, I did just say faith is a skill because it is. It is something we have to practice. It's something that we have to learn. We have to strengthen our faith muscles, which sounds easier than it actually is. If you don't have faith, then that is something that you have to build. It's something you have to strengthen, and you have something you have to work at. It's something that's really important to practice at daily, right? So for example, when you meet the world's obstacles, there's the biggest obstacle and it's right in front of you, and it's this thing that you have to go through that you have no idea how it's going to bring you forward to something better. You have no idea what's going to happen after this. Could this be a disaster? Could this be something that's good? I have no idea. I've never been in this situation right now. Like, for example, what's happening with AI taking out careers. It's like you meet a huge obstacle and you don't know how this is going to work out. When you're in those moments, you have two options, right? The first option is fear. Fear is when we let the stories run, we're succumbing to the fear. Oh my gosh, what if this happens? And blah 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 blah, right? That will quite literally suck you in and it'll bring you to that type of reality, which is filled with chaos, which is filled with fear, and it'll actually solidify that to be more of a real timeline for you. The other option is to choose faith, right? Where we're headed in the very near future, there's not going to be any more a middle ground. It's either conscious or unconscious. It's either fear or faith. There's no, I kind of believe, but I kind of don't. It's like you either do or you don't, because that faith is the thing that's going to bridge you to that higher timeline, that zone where you want to be, right? That reality that is more desirable. So when you meet that obstacle and you have that option of choosing fear or faith, and you choose faith, which means you alchemize the things that are coming up to the surface. You stop the stories as soon as they try to come in, and you shut off the mind, and you just know in that moment that this is going to work out for you. You do not need to know how, you do not need to know why, but you trust that there is a higher plan, a higher purpose, or a higher, a God, or whatever you want to think about. It doesn't have to be a specific God. It is as long as you believe in something. Faith is incredibly important, but we have to believe in something, right? But yeah, you could believe in a higher purpose. You can believe in a higher plan. You can simply believe that this is going to work out. That is also okay. Now, here's where most people go wrong. Fake faith, right? This fake faith is a huge thing where we are dependent on, well, God should be doing this for me because dot 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 dot. This shouldn't even be an obstacle for me, because why would God give this to me? That right there is not faith, right? That is us resisting what's happening in front of us, right? That resistance is a block, and that will also bring you down to a lower reality, a lower frequency. Right? So when we meet these resistance, we understand that this too is a part of the divine plan. We do not need to analyze it, because analyzation is actually a part of fear, because we are trying to understand, why is this happening? And like, blah, 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 blah. It's like all of that, we want to let that go. We just want to actually shut off the mind completely, step into feeling if we need to, and be present, right? This is that knowingness that comes online when we're like, God's got me, or this higher plan is going to work out. This higher purpose is going to work out. I don't need to think my way through. I trust, I have faith in the divine plan, right? And so this is where it becomes a skill, because it's not necessarily easy. And you may have if you reflect on your own life where you've met really challenging obstacles, when you're in that place, doubt and fear is really easy to come in. And so those are the times when we have the biggest breakthroughs if we actually hold on and we alchemize what's coming up. That's the difference between fake faith, right, as well, and real faith. Is that real faith, we're actually alchemizing the energies that are coming up. We're not pretending like everything's going to work out and, God's got me, but yet I have this doubt in my chest. I have fear that's there, because fear is the opposite of faith. We can't have faith when we have fear. We can't have fear when we have faith. They are the opposites of each other. So either it's one or the other. fake spirituality, fake faith, all of that stuff, that will not get us to that higher reality. We have to start to shift our perspective, see the light in it, and once again, that's easier said than done. Sometimes, if you can't see the light in it, sometimes shutting off the mind and just focusing on feeling is what we can do in that moment. And just having that trust, having that faith that this is happening for you. Right? So the more that we can do that, the more we're going to strengthen those muscles. You can start to practice this with smaller things, now before it gets into more of a roller coaster later, right? Because where we're headed with AI on the horizon, with all of these things that are coming out, it is incredibly important that we gain this skill of faith. So when these times get tested, we already know, okay, this is how God works. This is how my higher power works. This is how these higher plans work. They're just coming through. When they get cleared properly, they're going to be replaced with something greater, right? Anything that is removed with faith and you're alchemizing always gets replaced by something greater. And so I want you to start to really practice that now. So then you already have that skill set later. You're like, okay, this does work. Now let's practice this with bigger things. And adaptability, once again, it goes hand in hand with faith, right? The more that we are less resistance to what is wanting to be removed, the more that what naturally wants to come through can come through. The more that we are adaptable with the world, which means we're not rigid, right? Rigid people are very structured. They're very controlling. They're very structure can be okay sometimes, but not when it's rigid, right? Rigidness isn't going to take us to the future. Rigidness is we're consumed by rules and fear, right? Like when I think about rigidness, I think that there's like a fear as the foundation of rigid. It's like if we don't follow these exact rules, oh my God, right? The turkey voice comes on. So we want to make sure that we are that adaptable, we're in flow and things come and go, and we're not so trying to control the world, because what happens when we try to control is we're basically saying to our higher power, I don't trust in you. I don't have faith in your higher plan. So I'm going to try to fix it. I'm going to try to control it, right? Anything that we try to control from a place of fear will collapse, right? So if we are trying to control the outcome and we're doing that from that stress place, eventually that thing is going to have to collapse. We don't want to do that. We want to make sure that we're processing that energy, and then we can choose from a conscious place whether or not we want to fix it or what we want to do with this certain thing. And that really allows for us to be more in that adaptable state as well. We're not rigid, we're in flow. And I think there's great importance with having not being too flowy to the point where we're just like anything that comes our way, we're like, oh, this is resistance, I'm going to let it go. That's not what I mean here either, because we want to be able to see resistance as something we can persevere through, but also at the same time know when it's coming through because we're meant to just be in flow. Like if something actually wants to be removed from your field, we allow it to, but when a challenge comes into our field, we persevere through it out of determination, out of this is going to be a skill that I'm going to require, or something that I'm going to move through this that's going to bring something greater, right? Resistance isn't a negative thing. Resistance simply means I'm meant to either persevere through it or I'm not meant to actually do this thing. If there's consistent resistance in your field, this means consistent blocks, 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 blocks. This is literally the universe giving you a sign that you're not meant to do this thing. But resistance in general is something we are meant to work through. So I'm going to leave that for you. When you use your intuition on things, that will always guide you to the right direction. I have created videos on intuition. So if you want to know more about that, watch my other videos. But yeah, adaptability. So in your life right now, where are the areas that you are struggling to be adaptable or to have faith around? Maybe it's relationships, right? Maybe you get really frustrated with your partner who likes to do things a very specific way, and that's how she does things, and it bothers you. And maybe what you're supposed to do is maybe you're supposed to learn how to not get bothered over those things. So what can you internally do to help clear the energy that comes up around that thing? So the power of acceptance might be the ingredient of what it is that you need in that moment. Acceptance is a powerful tool because it teaches us how to be non-resistant to triggering energies that come up, right? Or things that come up that we're trying to control. So there's a very fine line with that acceptance, but we're not accepting everything that comes in our way and being like, I'm accepting of everything. Well, things come, where people come in and they take advantage of you. We don't want that either. We want to make sure we are in your power. We know what we want. We know what we don't want, but we have this ability to learn to be okay with things as they come up, as they are removed, and then newer, amazing, greater things will come through. Because remember what I said earlier, anything that is removed with faith will be replaced by something greater.